the Innokin EQ. Let's have a quick look. Hey guys, Vick here, back with another video. Today we are looking at this, the Innokin EQ, a brand new pod system from Innokin. The coils are built into the entire pod, so it is a pod all-in-one system, but you can use whatever juice you like. It's the Innokin EQ. It's available in a range of colours. It's got an 800 mAh battery. It's an all-in-one built-in system, 3 clicks on, 3 clicks off in true Innokin style. And it comes with these built-in coil and pod systems. So the coil is built into the pod. When the coil is done, you literally need to get another pod. And that is the way this one is. Mouthpiece at the top, press the button to fire. It also has a little trick of being able to change the power up as well. So to do that, you go 1, 2, 3. You hold down the fire button, and when it changes colour, you can change it to red, which is hotter, a bit more power, and white, which is the standard power. I'm not noticing a massive difference in the way it vapes when you change it up to the red power. I've got it in the red mode now. I'll turn it on. So I just think it's a fraction higher in wattage or voltage, if you like, maybe 0.3 volts, something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I'll put it on screen if I can find it in the information, but it just gives you a slightly warmer vape when you put it on that mode. I've been using it mainly in the other mode, just switching back over to the white. I do think it's a very strange way that they've done that. Firstly, you have to actually time it right. You know, like an arcade machine or something. It's going white, red, and you've got to release at the right time to get what you want, which is a strange way of doing it. And also, when you fire it back up, the button should stay red all the time if you're in red mode, and white all the time if you're in white mode, or something along those lines. But it doesn't do that. It stays in white, so there's no way at a glance, having a quick go, of remembering and telling from visually like where you are. So that's a strange move by Innokin to do that. So it's a pod system in as much as you can. It comes in a pod style, but you can put your own juice in here. What Innokin are recommending is 70 to 30, 70 VG, 30 PG juices in here. They say 80 should be fine as well, but they recommend 70-30, and they don't recommend max VG, high VG juice. They say that although it may work, it's not the recommended for these type of coils. And I think that's fair enough, and I think it's good that they're being transparent in that way. 800 mAh battery, completely built in, micro USB charging, 0.6 ohms seems to be the resistance of the coil, but that's kind of irrelevant on a kit like this where it's all built in. It's either going to vape how you like it or it is not. I've not seen any alternative pods, any alternative coils as of yet from Innokin. The coils themselves are these new mesh coils, the new mouth-to-lung mesh coils in a similar style to the new Zenith coils. The new Zenith kit is now available from the platform series of Innokin, and that's featuring these mouth-to-lung mesh coils now, which last longer and taste better according to Innokin, and that is the similar sort of situation we've got with the coils in here. In terms of how it vapes, I've now got it back in the white normal mode, and it's vaping like this. It's kind of that loose mouth to lung, tight direct to lung vape. It's sort of in between. A lot of these pods seem to be in that sort of range. I don't know if some sort of feedback from smokers converting has given them this idea that that needs to be the about the right airflow, but that is what it is. Now, some people are saying that if you get this out, and to refill this, basically what you do is you twist this cap. It releases 2 holes here, and you can pour your juice down either hole to fill the pod. And the pod is kind of see-through, so you can see inside, see how much juice you've got. Some people are saying it vapes differently depending on which way you turn this round, like that. So I can't find any literature from Innokin to suggest that's the case. They're certainly not advertising it as having in any way adjustable airflow. But I think people might be onto something. I don't think it might, maybe not Innokin's intention, but for one reason or another, spinning it round just seemed to slightly adjust the airflow. It feels slightly tighter when I've spun it around. So if you've got one of these and you're not sure about the airflow, just spin it around on its base and just see if it changes things. That definitely feels to me slightly more tighter spinning it around. But again, Innokin have not said anything about this up to this point, so I'm not sure. Flavour and vapour quality on this aren't bad. They aren't bad. I'm going to be completely honest. I've had a really mixed results with this. I've gone through. This is my second pod now, and both of them have behaved the same. Overall, in general day-to-day use, they've been pretty solid. A lot better than a lot of the other all-in-one pod systems out there. It has performed better than those, but there are also times where it gets quite frustrating. I think it's mainly when I'm messing with it for testing or playing with it, but a couple of times it's flooded on me a little bit, and then when it floods, and I've noticed it does get a tiny bit juicy in and around these bits as well, when it floods, trying to vape it dried out, it gets really hot. The top of the tip here, the coil gets very hot, and you actually occasionally get very, very hot juice spurting into your mouth. So it's it can be tricky sometimes. I've had using these two pods about 3 or 4 times that has happened, and it's not been like a particular set of situations that's caused it. It's just been in general use. Maybe I've sat it down like this and come back to the next morning, it's been slightly flooded, or I've been messing with this airflow to see if there's any difference, or filling it back up. A couple of times it's just got oversaturated, and then you've got to be very careful when it's oversaturated in terms of vaping it out, because it can get both flooded and a bit too hot and spitty. So I've had those happen to me a couple of times, but I'm putting that down mainly to me messing with it. Overall, I don't think it's bad at all. In general day-to-day use, taken it out about me 2 or 3 times now, and in general use, it's been absolutely fine. If that does happen to you, rather than vaping it out like I would normally recommend, what I've been doing is putting a tissue on each side and blowing down, and just blowing the excess out of the 2 little air holes in the side. So there is that. It also comes with this lid. Now this lid has a little trick. When you put the lid on, it's very, very tight, and when you grab it, the whole pod comes with. And that is obviously not ideal. And originally I was just telling you, basically you just got to squeeze it off, and it squeezes and comes off. It's actually even easier than that. If you just push it in the right place, just on the side here, right halfway up on the side, it pops off absolutely no problem. So maybe I'm thinking there's almost like again, I don't know if this is an intended feature of Innokin or not, but I'm almost thinking maybe it's like a child safety thing. Because if a child grabbed this and they went like that to try and have a go or something, they wouldn't be able to, maybe not figure it out how to do it. So yeah, a little push in the right place and the cap comes flying off. On this one, however, there is no magnetic thing. There's nowhere to put this cap when you're not using it, which is what it is. So overall, I've got to say, flavour and the way it vapes, I am quite enjoying. I think these coil heads are true to their word. These mesh mouth-to-lung coils, I do think they last a bit longer than your typical coil for mouth-to-lung. And I think the flavour is pretty good as well. Easy to refill. Easy to just go and grab another pod, or have a pod ready full of juice, you know, if that's what you want to do, and flip out your flavours. It's got that ability to change voltage, which a lot of these pods don't do. I think it's stylish, it's thin, it's light, it's easy to carry, works very well. The battery life is surprisingly decent. I've got to say that straight off the bat. As always with these quick looks, it is very much just a quick look. Maybe worth checking out a full review if you're genuinely interested in getting one of these. I know there'll already be some cracking reviews out there. Go and check those out. I'm going to give this 1 thumb up. I think I don't really have a scoring system, but I do think this is a solid pod if pods are your thing, and much better than any pod that comes with pre-filled juice that you can't change. Not a big fan of those. You'll notice there aren't any videos of those on my channel right now. So I do think it's better than all those for sure, and I would say it's better than most of the pods I've experienced, to be honest. Innokin have done a pretty decent job on this overall. I think it's pretty good. Let me know what you think in the comments, like and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.